Well, I really messed up this time. Well, as you saw from the intro, I made a terrible mistake today. I recently got a set of 18-inch wheels with Pirelli Soto 03s, 235/45 up front and 265/45 in the rear, and I was eager to test them out in the snow. There is a raging blizzard, and I somehow decided it was the perfect weather to go for a drive in a low, rear-drive sports car to test out my winter tires. What could go wrong, right? Well, folks, as you will see later in the video, there are many reasons why today just ain't that day. 2 minutes into the drive, I can already tell the road was covered in maybe 2 to 3 inches of snow. At this point, the car was already struggling for traction, even though the roads have been plowed not long ago. This should have been the first indication that I should turn back, because the snow in unplowed areas are definitely much deeper than this. In the past, I have driven many rear-wheel drive sports cars in the winter, including a Toyota GT86 and a BMW M2, both of which were my dailies for 2 years, and I have never been stuck in the snow. That probably gave me a false sense of confidence, and I got too cocky. Here's maybe the one good decision I made out of all the bad decisions today. I decided to follow the Jeep Cherokee that's in front of me and turn into a smaller road, as I didn't like the idea of struggling for traction on a major intersection up ahead and potentially blocking traffic. But this is also where I met my demise. At this point, I'm starting to realize this was a bad idea, as the snow kept getting deeper as I went further, and even the Jeep Cherokee in front of me is struggling, and it has 4-wheel drive. Now, I'm considering turning back. The conditions aren't improving, and the chances of me getting stuck will only increase, which turned out to be true. I have been on this road before, so I know there is a cul-de-sac not far ahead. So I decided to make the turn there. When I reached the cul-de-sac, the roads haven't been plowed at all, and there is a ton of powdery snow ahead. I decided to stop before reaching the dead end, as it was not possible to drive any further. For the next few minutes, I just sat there pondering about how I can get myself out of this situation. The first thing I did was to get out of the car and check out the snow condition and how deep it actually is. Upon first inspection, the snow doesn't look too terrible, and there are tire tracks left behind by other cars in front of me, which meant that I can use it to get better traction. I decided to make the U-turn right here, which was a huge mistake. At the time, I thought I could turn off traction control and do a half donut and leave the scene in style. You'll see, that didn't work out as planned. Here, I'm switching to Sport Plus mode and manually turning off traction. Notice, I did a short press of the traction control instead of a long press. The screen shows PSM Sport instead of PSM Off. This was another huge mistake. PSM is Porsche's stability management system. The system intervenes by cutting throttle when slip is detected, thus preventing the car from spinning out. In PSM Sport mode, the system allows for a greater slip angle before cutting throttle. However, this is not the same as turning it all off, where it will not intervene at all. Not realizing this mistake, I kept trying to turn the car, but it was going nowhere, and I had no idea why it's cutting power. Generally in the snow, especially if you're trying to get off the line at slow speeds, allowing wheel spin is actually beneficial as the tires dig into the denser snow underneath, which provides more traction than powder snow. Having momentum is also very crucial in as you can see right here, I lost all momentum and that was it. I am officially stuck. You can even see in a panic, I turned off PASM, the Porsche Active Suspension Management System. Yeah, that will totally help. As I frantically searched for more buttons to press, I found the traction button and remembered to long press this time to fully disengage PSM. But it was already too late. The car is now sitting in a hole that the tires had dug and thick snow piling under the body. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. I tried a few more times turning on and off traction control to see if that made a difference. It didn't. I decided to hop out of the car and see what I got myself into. Yikes, my right rear tire is kissing the curb. Here, I'm trying to clear some snow with my feet, which in hindsight was kind of a stupid thing to do. Not only did I get my boots filled with snow, it absolutely did nothing to help the car get unstuck. I am trying an off-roading technique called sawing or wiggling, where you rotate the wheel from left to right quickly to help the tires regain traction by allowing their sidewalls to bite into the mud or the sides of the ruts. However, this is not particularly useful when the front tires aren't being driven. After a few more tries, I knew I wasn't going to get myself out of here alone, so I had to call backup. Well, I really messed up this time. Wasn't expecting the snow to be so thick. I thought this morning, this being an industrial area, it should be plowed, but never assume, right? Oh, thank goodness for those thick sidewalls. See, I can see I'm burning off a little bit rubber already.
现在他开车出去玩雪去了，然后我得开大车去救他，就是去救他。
There's my savior. We were definitely making some progress, but the car kept slipping into the curb where the snow is the thickest. This made it very hard to build momentum with the car, as we had to stop every time it drifted to the curb to avoid damaging the wheels or the rear bumper. Then, out of nowhere, this plow tractor showed up and started clearing the snow in front of the car. He must have been nearby and saw us struggling and decided to lend a hand. Then I asked my wife to drive the car while I pushed from behind. And finally, it's unstuck. Well, that's it folks. Thank you for watching this video. This was definitely a lesson learned for me, and I will respect the snow much more from now on. In retrospect, this could have been way worse, and thankfully I didn't need to call a tow truck to tow me out. The plow tractor really came in clutch at the end, or else we could be there for much longer. Lastly, a huge thanks to my wife for coming out here and saving my butt. Cheers.